100 years from now, historians will look back on November 30th, 2022 as the day the world changed. They will say it was a change more profound than the advent of the printing press, the creation of the atomic bomb, or even the birth of the internet itself. It will go down in history as the beginning of the next phase of human evolution. It's already been 6 months since the release of ChatGPT, and the AI revolution is officially underway. Most people are still completely oblivious to the magnitude of the opportunity that's before us. Opportunity that's available to people just like you and me who don't waste our time looking back at the world that was or what could have been. We don't cling to outdated skills or complain about how it used to be. And instead, we look forward to the wave of opportunity that's gathering on the horizon. And we prepare ourselves to take advantage by heeding Warren Buffett's wise words that said, "It does not matter how hard you row if you're in the wrong boat." And since one of the most common questions I get on this channel is, what kind of business should I start? I thought I would take a moment to share the opportunities that I see. And these are opportunities that are available to literally anybody with a computer and internet access. And if you just executed on one of these 3 ideas that I'm going to share with you, you could easily be making $2 to $3 million within the next couple of years. The first is what I'm calling an AI integrator. And the beauty of this model is you could easily build this into either a one-person consulting gig that generates maybe 6 figures of salary in a year, or you could build out a full-fledged company doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year in recurring revenue. Now, the way it would work is very similar to an already thriving industry that's used worldwide to generate trillions of dollars of value. It's called lean engineering. And if you've never heard of lean, do not sweat it. I personally didn't have a clue what it was until around 2017 when I started working with my buddy to build Escape Climbing, which was a business that manufactured plastic rock climbing holds. Now, in the manufacturing world, efficiency is everything. Your ability to reduce waste in your supplies or your processes or your inventory by even 1% can easily translate into millions of dollars of additional profit. And the philosophy of lean manufacturing was popularized by Toyota and their unique methods for delivering a remarkably consistent and reliable product year after year. So other businesses started to look at what Toyota was doing and they asked themselves, all right, well, how do we do that? And this gave birth to a new industry of lean engineers, guys and gals that travel from business to business, helping implement the Toyota engineering practices to drive efficiencies through the roof. Now, just to give some context on how lucrative this business can be, at Escape, we would have paid a lean engineer tens of thousands of dollars to come in and consult on our systems during a time when we were only doing $2 to $3 million of top line revenue. So now let's take this same concept and apply it to AI. See, there are already so many AI tools out there that could help businesses of all sizes save tons of money right this minute. But the problem for most of these businesses is they don't have the time, the energy, or the desire to go out and learn which systems they should be implementing because the landscape is changing so quickly with new tools just cropping up every other day. Now, the other problem, and this is the big one that you could help them solve, is how do they integrate these systems with their current processes? For example, perhaps there's some wicked awesome AI accounting tool that you know how to integrate with QuickBooks or Xero or some other accounting software, which constantly audits the books for any duplicate invoices and then automatically contests them. And truthfully, this happens way more than you think. Most businesses completely miss this. But solving this one problem could easily save thousands of dollars a year for a business just doing around $1 million of revenue. Another example would be to help small businesses improve the quality of their marketing by coming in and training their team on how to effectively use things like Midjourney to create social media images or ChatGPT to improve their copywriting. Now, the reason I love this AI integrator idea so much is because pretty much every business on the planet at this moment is a potential customer. But you could literally just start where you are in your hometown with small businesses around you, because I guarantee they have no clue how to integrate these tools into their workflows. In fact, most of them are probably so overwhelmed with the day-to-day operations that the idea has never even crossed their minds. And so if you could find a way to get your foot in the door with these business owners, the sky is the limit for your earning potential. Now, there's really 2 ways I can think of off the top of my head for packaging something like this. Either go very niche around a particular substack within a business like finance, marketing, or operations, and then you come in with your set of tools for improving that one department. So you could become known as the guy or gal who comes in and improves marketing or finance for small businesses. And if you're already working as a professional in one of these areas in like your 9 to 5, then this is exactly where I would start because you already know the ins and outs of your own arena. Now, the other way you could monetize something like this is to do business-wide audits where you just shadow for a couple of days looking for areas ripe for integration. And then you come back and say, well, here are the areas for improvement we can make to your current systems. And then here's the quote for us to come in and integrate or train your team on how to use them. Regardless of which way you do it though, because there are currently so few people offering a personalized service like this, you literally have a blue ocean of opportunity. So do not sleep on this one. Now, the next business of the future I want to share with you is very similar to the AI integrator, but instead of improving businesses, we're going to go to the masses and improve lives. This one I call the personal AI assistant. So in the same way that businesses don't yet understand how to implement AI tools to improve their operations, most of us don't have a clue how we could start implementing these same technologies to improve our lives. Now, I got to thinking about this one because I have a friend who hired a woman to organize their home. She came in, she looked at all their closets, their drawers, their kitchens, their everything. And then she created an organizational system for them. She went out, she bought the storage bins and the shelves, the labels, and she put everything in its place. And I'm convinced that if people are willing to pay for that service, just think how much more willing they would be if you could come in and help them create a smart life. A smart life is like a smart home, but on steroids and way more awesome. And there's just so many ways that you could implement this. The most basic would just be to sit down with the person and teach them how to integrate certain tools into their day, like AI schedule optimizers or virtual travel agents or grocery shopping assistants. See, there's a bunch of tools out there with really basic functionalities that would have a massive impact on the quality of people's lives, but they just have no clue that they exist. And in most cases, people don't want to go down a bunch of rabbit holes that may or may not lead somewhere worth going. So you could save them the time of researching and learning and just show them what they need to know. The next level up of this smart life concept would be to then help people actually integrate the hardware into their homes, which is really cool, but there is a massive problem with this model that I'm not in love with. It's this. People are pretty cheap. Compared to a business, people are willing to pay a whole lot less money for productivity gains, which means you're gonna have a very hard time scaling this business to 7 figures and beyond if you're working with people one-on-one. But that doesn't mean we should abandon this idea entirely. In fact, I think with just a simple tweak of this business model, it could easily generate 9 figures of revenue, which leads us to the third business of the future, creating a media AI empire. Now, of all the opportunities before us, this is definitely my favorite because it utilizes two of the most powerful forms of leverage, technology and media. And if you want to learn more about these two forms of leverage, plus the other two of labor and capital, then I'm going to drop a link in the description for a video that you're definitely going to want to check out called 4 Passive Income Ideas, How I Made $125,000 last month. Okay. So the core of your media AI empire is going to be education. See, the formal education we all got in school is antiquated and it's based on teaching people general knowledge. But these days, people want to learn specific knowledge, that is, skills that are going to immediately improve their lives or earning potential. Now, over the next few years, what do you suppose is going to be a skill or a technology that pretty much every human on the planet is going to want to learn how to use? That's right, AI. In particular, I believe people will want to learn how to use AI to improve their 4 spheres of influence, which are mindset, health, wealth, and skills. It would seriously be so easy to carve out a niche right now as the person who's teaching people how to use AI to improve their lives. Now, there's a couple different ways you can monetize this. One way would be to create an online course or an academy that guides people through which tools to use and how to implement them. But the big problem with this option is that the landscape of AI tools is changing rapidly day by day. So you run the risk of your material either becoming obsolete or you have to commit to continually updating it. And that's fine because I still think this could be incredibly lucrative. However, a better way might be to pursue one of these 3 other options: a newsletter, a YouTube channel, or a podcast. Okay, let's start with a newsletter, which is actually one of the coolest ways to build an audience, deliver value, and yes, even make some really good money. And truthfully, you can make a newsletter covering any topic, but I just see so much opportunity within the AI space at the moment, given how new it is and how relatively few people are talking about it. So that's where I would personally focus. And I've personally seen how well this newsletter model works for my friend Sam Parr, who created The Hustle before selling it for tens of millions of dollars to HubSpot, and his friend Sean Puri, who pretty much copied Sam's playbook playbook and created the Milk Road, which is a daily newsletter for crypto, which he also sold for a couple $1 million. There's a lot of angles you could take in creating an AI newsletter, but I think just aggregating all the new tools, use cases, and stories from that week and then sending out in an email, that could be immensely valuable. And the great thing about a newsletter is just how easy it can be monetized once you've established an audience. You could sell ad spots to companies wanting to promote their AI related tools to your audience. You could create an affiliate relationship with companies that have tools you like to recommend. Or if you want to get really crazy, you could offer a paid subscription tier where you offer exclusive premium content. So there's a ton of ways to make money on this. And I really love this model because of how easy it is to start and maintain. You really just need a landing page and a way to collect emails through a software like Beehive or Substack, which are both really inexpensive. Of course, you do need a way to get in front of people to let them know about your newsletter, which leads us to the next two options in building out a media AI empire: podcasting and YouTube. And we're going to group these together because they're very similar in a lot of ways. Now, the reality is YouTube is the second largest search engine on the internet, and pretty much everybody listens to a podcast these days. So I really can't think of a better way to get in front of an audience to deliver value and build a relationship. And again, one of the really cool things about these media platforms is just how little it costs to get up and running. To be on YouTube, you really just need a camera with a microphone. I mean, you could pretty much just use your smartphone. And for a podcast, you don't even need the camera. Now, the most obvious direction you could go with the YouTube channel or podcast would be to do product reviews, state of the market updates, and tutorials. And the thing you really want to think about here is, what are people going to search for on Google? Then create content designed to rank high for those search terms, and then bam, you're off to the races. Seriously, this is green pastures for days. Very few people are currently producing content on these topics, which means it would be incredibly easy to build an audience, which could then be monetized in 100 different ways, ranging from Google AdSense to paid sponsorships or affiliate marketing. Now, the downside of this particular model is that it will take time and effort to build an audience. So don't expect to make tons of money right out of the gate. But you could easily start building this out as a side hustle and then make the jump to full time once it starts gathering momentum. Alternatively, I love the idea of layering this business with the first idea I gave you of becoming an AI integrator. So maybe while you're out there working with businesses to integrate AI with their current systems, you're also creating content about what you're doing. You're just sharing the journey. And the beauty of this is you really just have to document what's working and what's not for the businesses you serve. And as a result, you solidify yourself as an expert within the space, which brings you more consulting work, which in turn gives you more content for the media empire. And so it goes. It's like a virtuous cycle. Now, I totally understand these businesses of the future might not sing to your soul. They might not be a good fit for you, your skills, your personality, but hopefully they've given you some new ways to think about capitalizing on this new world of AI-induced opportunity. See, I think a lot of people believe that the only way to make money in this AI revolution is to actually be the one building the tools and softwares that people will ultimately use. And sure, that's true. ChatGPT is going to make a ton of money. But I think in general, there's a better way to capitalize on these once in a lifetime opportunities. And it's a lesson that we can take from the California gold rush back in the 1850s. See, at the height of the gold boom, thousands of people flocked to California with this dream of finding a vein of gold and striking it rich. The truth is, sure, some people got extremely lucky and made a ton of money, but most didn't. But with that said, there was one group of people who were able to make a consistent killing during the gold rush, and they were the ones selling the shovels. And the new rich that are going to emerge from this next era of business opportunities will be the ones who ask themselves, what are the shovels people are going to need to take advantage of this new AI-inspired world? And I'll tell you what, if you can figure out what that is and then deliver it, you will be unstoppable. Hey, what's up guys? Thanks so much for checking out the video. I hope you got a massive amount of value out of it. If you want to go even deeper into entrepreneurship, investing, or personal development, then you should definitely check out the Hyper-Focused Entrepreneur newsletter, which we put out once a week and is completely free. In recent issues, I've shared the step-by-step playbook for building out $1 million personal brand, the $70 million blueprint, which will teach you how to build an 8-figure business. And our most popular article was actually how to build self-discipline and overcome procrastination. So if that sounds interesting, I'm going to drop a link in the description below and we'll see you on the inside. But until then, stay hyper-focused, my friend.